Hey watch fans, Brad from Brent Miller Jewelers. And today I have for us two Tudor 39mm models. On my left is the titanium Pelagos 39, and on my right is the Black Bay 58 GMT. And no, I'm not doing a direct comparison of these two watches today. However, if you want to see a direct comparison over spec, size of these watches, let me know in the comments and I can certainly try to make that happen. Today's video is in reference to the clasps on these watches. I had someone reach out after I posted the video comparing the 58 GMT to the regular 58 model, taking a look at the T-fit versus the non-T-fit and saying, hey, can you do that for me, comparing it to the Pelagos 39? And so that's what I'm doing today because I take requests. If there's something you want to see, let me know, reach out in the comments or email, and I certainly will try to make that happen. So without further ado today, looking at the clasps on these, again, both T-fit, you are looking at a total, I call it, kind of effective presence underneath your wrist of exactly the same on these. I measured 50.7 from the widest point. It's essentially the swing arm, the piece underneath the clasp, the exact same. So interestingly enough, I measured 50.7 millimeters all the way across the widest part of that. However, where that does start to vary is you have a longer clasp on the P39 at 46.4. So again, that's from the very widest point here all the way to the bottom of the clasp, 46.4 compared to 37.6. So what is that? I guess nearly about 9 millimeter difference. And you can see it specifically at this angle here. How much longer the clasp is on the Pelagos 39. And then the last measurement I took was just the top of the shield, kind of the part of the flip lock there, without that kind of extra top part of the kind of, it's almost like a link on top of that clasp. So again, from the very top where you see the tape on both of these, and measured that at 44 on the Pelagos versus 35. So again, the same basically 9 millimeter difference from the bottom. And you can just see the clasp is much shorter on the 58 compared to the Pelagos. I'll throw these both on wrist so you can see what they look like on wrist. I will tell you, I didn't notice much on wrist, and I think it has to do with the fact that the swing arm underneath, again, that widest point is the same at 50.7. And I want to reference the 50.7 I measured on the 58 GMT is a little bit shorter than what I mentioned in the video comparing it to the 58. I think I said it was 52.5. I did not have the T-fit all the way in. So today I did make sure the T-fit, the micro adjustability on both of these was all the way in. So I was comparing apples to apples. So I do want to mention that on the previous video, comparing it to the 58, the T-fit was out a little bit. So I had a couple, I think 2 millimeters more on the overall effective length underneath, which I made sure I eliminated today. So let me throw these both on wrist again real quick. I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist. Really, they don't feel different to me on wrist. It's just the overall look, the aesthetic, I think, of the clasp. And I will say, I prefer the look of a shorter clasp. I like seeing more of the bracelet. And so for me, just aesthetically speaking, I do prefer this 58 GMT as well as the 58, even though the 58 doesn't have the T-fit, which was longer. If you don't remember, the 58 was longer than the 58 GMT, effectively with the swing arm underneath. But let me throw the Pelagos on, and you'll see here real quick, the clasp just takes up more real estate underneath my wrist. And so my preference is to have the shorter, smaller clasp, simply because I think it gets scratched up more when it's larger. It's just kind of more in the way. I prefer having the bracelet be as much of the, or the links of the bracelet take up as much real estate and a shorter clasp. Again, is it a deal breaker for me? Absolutely not. I think the Pelagos 39 is still a great, fantastic model. But I did have someone reach out and wanted to see a side-by-side of these two clasps. So here they are. Again, T-fit micro adjustability on both of these, just a little bit smaller on your Black Bay 58 GMT. Hope you find this beneficial or helpful. If there's anything else I can do for you, anything at all, contact information in the description. Thanks again for viewing. We'll see you in the next video.